Okay, guys, I got an update. It's super early, but I'm a psycho teacher, so I wake up ridiculously early. I got an update on your AP test. Um, not the April 3rd update, but this is very important. One of the teacher on Twitter, and this is from Trevor Packer, who's like the guy for, for a college board on Twitter. So if you want to follow him on Twitter because he'll give you your test updates. Someone said, I hadn't seen this specified anywhere yet. Will this be an open book, open note exam? Yes. This is from Trevor. Yes, like a college exam, these exams will be open book, open note. They won't test simple factual recall. Instead, they'll be focused on skills and thematic understandings. So that's a good news, bad news situation, in my opinion. The good news is it's open book, open note. The bad news is it's open book, open note, and it's timed. Okay. So when you're studying for an open note, open book test, the number one mistake that people make, which a lot of you guys, especially being seniors, are going to make, is you don't study. You're like, oh, well, it's open note. I'll just kind of wing it. That's the worst thing you could possibly do because then, even if it's open note, you're not going to know where to go to study. All right. You're not going to know what to study. You're not going to know how to study. Um, and it's timed. So that's one of the things that us instructors do, and I definitely do, is if I'm giving an open note test, you make it timed. And I tell you, don't look up every single answer. You will not have enough time to look up every single answer. All right. That's not how open note tests work. Open note tests, they're good because you can look up the answers, but you should study as if it's a normal test, maybe even harder, because a lot of times instructors or test creators make open note tests a little bit more difficult because they know it's open note. So study as if you're studying for a regular AP exam, all right? And especially a free response exam. So you got to really, really focus on studying the graphs. Um, So what you're going to do is you're going to answer almost everything you can answer, and if there's one or two or three things you're not sure of, or you kind of like you wanted to check, you check those three things out, and that's how an open note exam works. Is you're able to do like 90% of it on your own, but then that little, like, 10 to 20%, you can always look that up and check your answers and or try to get a helping hand on those. Uh, what people tend to do is they understudy, they underprepare for the exam, they try to look up every single answer, and by the time the timer's up, they're at 50% completion. And the problem, especially with macro, is you have to know, and I'm going to try to go over this, how all these graphs and these themes work together. You don't just have to know they're not doing foreign exchange, but the foreign exchange exam. You don't have to just know that. You have to know, we'll use ASAD. You have to know, what is ASAD? How does it relate to fiscal policy? How does it relate to monetary policy? How does it relate to open market operations? How does it relate to fiscal expansionary policy? Like you have to know how these themes and these concepts in macro work together. So that's what I'm a little worried about. But that's your update. It's an open book, open note, which if you study right, it can give you a big helping hand. And if you don't, uh, I weep for your future because distance learning is good for a couple things. It's definitely not good for graphing, in my opinion. The way I have it set up, the way a lot of teachers have it set up, there's no substitute for seeing you in class graph and giving you pointers and stuff like that, and grading and giving you instant feedback. That's why grades are good, is because I can give it back to you and you can say, oh, I messed that up, my grade suffered, I won't make that mistake again. I don't have that. That's a teaching device. I don't have that anymore. So we'll see, we'll work through it, and I'll keep putting out these videos. Let's go. Early morning Monday, after spring break. I've been working all through spring break, you know that, for you. So let's keep going. Krause University.